Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be discussing selection of main lifts. So basically the principle of using main lifts, so you use a main lift and increase it and use assistant exercises to bring up the main lift. One of the pitfalls many people fall into in training is using the squat, bench and deadlift exclusively as their main exercises. Unless you're a powerlifter, the squat, bench and deadlift might not always be the best main lifts for you to focus on. There are many other options, different squatting patterns. So say for example, you could use the front squat instead of the low bar back squat, a high bar squat, a box squat, different variations. You don't always have to like deadlift. You do a stiff legged deadlift, trap bar deadlift, that kind of thing, even block pulls. So your main lift, which you use to measure your strength on, doesn't always have to be squat, bench and dead. There is other options out there. Additionally, in regards to powerlifting, the squat, bench and deadlift as main lifts might not always be the best case. It doesn't always lead to your balanced training. There's no overhead pressing work, no like vertical or horizontal pulling. So basically, in selection of your main exercises, the type of things you should be looking for. So say you're a bodybuilder or someone training for health purposes, you're not so limited by exercise selection of your main lifts. So what I would recommend is choosing 3 to 5 lifts which cover most of the areas of the body which you're going to need. So start with some sort of squatting pattern. So this doesn't always have to be the back squat, it can be a front squat, it can be a goblet squat, it could be a belt squat, anything along them lines. So a lower body squat. Secondly is a lower body hinge. So like we mentioned with the deadlift, trap bar deadlift, block pulls, that kind of thing. Then we need an upper body pushing exercise. This doesn't have to be the bench press, it can be the overhead press, the push press, anything like that. And also I would recommend for general health and fitness purposes, including some sort of pulling exercise in your main lift, whether that be like bench pull, bent over row, pull up, that kind of thing. So your main lift selection is like quite an important part of your training. So these are the main lifts you're going to be training most of the time. They're not exclusively the only lifts you can do, because you've got assistance exercises, which basically the aim of them is to bring your main lift up. And selection of assistance exercises is basically whatever you find correlates highly with your main lifts. Basically, your main lifts also relate back. So if you're an athlete, they relate back to the principles of specificity. So your main lifts should not necessarily closely resemble the sporting movement you're doing, but the structures which are important in that sporting movement. So say you're a jumper, you shouldn't exclusively like do jump squats, say, or squat in the exact stance you're jumping. Like adding the little variations in stance and stuff are fine, but the main lift should create stress upon the areas of the body which are involved in your performance. These main lifts, so see you're a powerlifter, you haven't really got much choice. You've got squat, bench, dead, and you can maybe throw in overhead press, as in like on Wendler's 5-3-1. But if you're training for general health and fitness, you're not restricted by these limitations at all. And likewise with bodybuilding, whether that be competitive or just guys in the gym training because they want to get bigger and build some muscle. And if you're in that situation, you're not limited by, you're not like within set ideas of what your main lifts have to be. You can rotate them, so you can do a main lift say 8 weeks and then swap it out and put in another lift. So you can back squat for 8 weeks, front squat for 8 weeks, and then go back to the back squat again. And then constantly change up these main lifts. So you might ask, if you can change them out all the time, and there's assistance lifts as well, what is the point in defining it as a main lift? I would say the point in defining it as a main lift basically is you focus on gaining strength in that lift more than anything else. So say like a lot of bodybuilding guys get off track, focus on too much hypertrophy work, and they're not really having a strength focus. Like recently there's been a massive popularisation of power building, and this is basically taking the principle of using a main lift and then performing your hypertrophy work after it. So these main lifts are very important. Also for the general health purposes, gaining strength is still very important, and maintaining your strength into later life and having a higher quality of life, and just basically being stronger for longer. If you've got any questions, please ask down below. Thank you for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. Peace out.